The desert sky burned like a furnace. Altitude, 41,000 feet. A private jet, blood-red stripes across its wings, split the air above the Arabian sands. Then, 2 blips. Radar alert. Unmarked fighters. Closing fast. No warnings. No insignia. Inside the jet, leather seats. Gold trim. And him. Zayed al-Rashid. 36. Billionaire. Royal. Target. He glanced at his shattered satellite phone. No signal. Just static. His pilot was dead. His guards were gone. A missile lock beeped, steady as a heartbeat. Zayed reached under his seat. Metal case. Fingerprint scan. Click. Inside, 1 card. Black. Unlabeled. He pressed it to the comms panel. A voice clicked on, machine filtered low. She didn't say hello. Just, you took long enough. Zayed exhaled, calm. Almost relieved. I'm calling in the favor, but somewhere far below. In a tent, alone, with sand stuck in her boots. She was already moving. Wind scoured the ridge. Sand hissed against metal. She didn't flinch. Didn't blink. Kara lay prone on the high dune, rifle across her pack, watching ants crawl across a busted satellite dish 10 clicks away. The signal was dead. She already knew. She checked it anyway. Old habit. Her dreadlocks were tied back beneath a sun-faded cap. Black patch. Neon slash. No insignia. No name. Just Kara. She waited for nothing. Hunted no one. Off-grid by choice. But the desert doesn't forget. The sky rumbled. Jet trail overhead. Wrong pattern. Wrong time. She rolled onto her elbow. Scoped it. Private Gulf Stream, spiraling. Smoke. Altitude drop. 2 shadows on its tail. Her satellite phone vibrated. The kind of vibration that isn't accidental. She didn't answer. Just picked it up. Scanned the message. A.L. Rashid. Taken. 72 hours. Below it. GPS ping. She stared at the numbers. The heat shifted. Something behind her moved, small. Lizard. Didn't matter. She closed her eyes. The sound of static filled her skull. Last time she saw that name. A school had burned. Last time she acted on instinct, people died. Last time, her hand tightened around the phone. She stood. Dust slid off her pants. Orange crop top streaked with ash. Watched it disappear like a bad memory. The comms rig clicked on. Old. Soviet. Hacked. Still worked. She tuned the frequency by feel. A signal cut through. 1 ping. Faint. Fading. But traceable. The coordinates matched. She didn't think. Didn't plan. She just moved. By nightfall, she was gone. No trail. No prints. Just a silhouette against the last blaze of light. Moving straight toward the fire. She never went looking for war. But war kept finding her. She moved fast. By camel trail. Then bike. She'd memorized the dunes by moonlight. Patterns like muscle memory. The ping grew stronger. Until it vanished. She stopped. Stepped out. Wind slapped her face. Warm. Wrong warm. Fuel. Something burned nearby. She climbed a dune. Crawled the last 10 meters. There it was. Wreckage. The private jet. Its tail buried in sand. Nose torn open like a peeled can. No bodies. No blood. No black box. Too clean. She moved closer. Found tracks. Heavy. Wide boot spacing. Military trained. Not locals. Not amateurs. 1 shell casing. NATO round. Still warm. She crouched. Listened. Only the wind. Then. Flash. South ridge. Binocular glint. She dropped. Waited. No follow-up. Just a message. Not to her. Sent from the crash site. Encrypted. But the signature, familiar. Zayed. Still alive. Still playing games. She tracked the source. Miles southeast. No roads. Only salt flats. A place called Sector 9. Decommissioned U.S. base, now privately owned. Private by who? She already knew. She had history with that place. A mission. A betrayal. A boy with half a face. She didn't look back. Didn't call for backup. No one left to call. 1 man against her was dangerous. A syndicate? They'd need luck. She approached at dusk. Observed. Cameras, thermal. Drones, silent, high altitude. Guard rotation, precise, rehearsed. Corporate mercenaries. Ex-military. All for sale. The kind of soldiers who'd kill for a stock option. She counted heads. Counted minutes. Spotted a window. 15 seconds blind every rotation. She didn't wait. Cut through the wire. Crawled through salt and bone-dry dirt. Got in. Security logs showed the name Zayed twice. Once on entry, once marked transferred. But no footage. System wiped. Professionally. Not anger. Something colder. He wasn't the hostage. He was the bait. If this was a trap, they built it for the wrong woman. She left the base before dawn. No firefight. No alarms. Invisible in shadow. The drive crackled in her glove. Data decrypted in pulses. Coordinates. Call signs. Faces blurred in red. She knew the names. Old ghosts. One still owed her blood. Another. A life. The third. Nothing. But she trusted her trigger. She moved to Cairo first. Underground bar. Hidden in an old museum vault. The hacker was blind, but listened better than anyone she knew. Kofi. He heard her footsteps. Didn't ask questions. Just handed her a modified sat map and said, 10 hours. Next, the pilot. Retired Russian combat ace. Victor. Fat, drunk, and dangerous even sober. She found him betting on drone races near the Red Sea. He laughed when he saw her. Stopped laughing when she handed him a picture of Zayed. Then, the sniper. Girl from the jungle. No file. No trace. Only name, Gwen. They met at the edge of the desert. Gwen said nothing. Just tapped her scope twice and followed. No team patch. No briefing room. Just 4 people. All broken. All useful. The plan came from scraps. Cargo route data. Fuel logs. Satellite blind zones. Zayed's location updated every 6 hours. Intentionally. He wanted her to find him. But not too fast. She pinned the map. Marked 3 choke points. 1 fuel depot. 1 airstrip. 1 canyon. Too obvious. She looked again. Sector 17. Old smuggler zone. Flooded twice. Abandoned. No longer monitored. Perfect for a trap. Perfect for a strike. She traced her finger across the map. Landing zone there. Diversion here. Extraction, optional. She turned to the others. Didn't ask. Didn't wait. Just moved. They followed. Victor prepped the plane. Old cargo bird, rigged with false panels and ECM pods. Kofi scrambled 2 fake transponders. Gwen vanished, already ahead. They flew at night. Low. Silent. Under radar. Over suspicion. Inside, Kara sat with her boots planted, hands steady. No emotion. No second thoughts. She wasn't here to argue. She was here to finish. The mission wasn't about Zayed. Not anymore. He asked for a rescue. She was bringing war. They dropped low into the salt basin. Wheels up. Doors tight. The storm wasn't on radar, but it was real. Desert wind howled like engines. Visibility. 2 meters. Perfect cover. Victor cursed in Russian. Kofi smiled like he'd seen it coming. Gwen was already gone. Slipped out into the sand before touchdown. Kara stayed still. Heartbeat slow. Breath timed. No emotion. Only direction. They moved on foot. Kofi monitoring frequencies. Victor carrying EMP packs in a satchel rigged to blow. The wind thickened. Sand like smoke. Then shadows. Not natural. Metal. 6-legged drones. Crawler models. Unmarked. Moved like scorpions. Kofi picked up the signal. U.S. signature, spoofed. Private contractor, origin. High tier. Black budget. Kara gave one nod. Victor armed the EMP. Tossed it underhand into the storm. White flash. Buzzing silence. Drone spasmed. Dropped. Then, gunfire. Real. High velocity. Precision bursts. They were being herded. Kara rolled behind a ridge. Saw the pattern. Kill. AI assisted. She hit the dirt. Slid beneath a dune shelf. Waited. Someone approached. Heavy boots. Not drone. Human. Silencer hissed. She rolled, grabbed his wrist, broke it. Knife out. Quiet. Fast. She took his headset. Plugged it into her own rig. Feed opened. Live chatter. Zayed's voice. Calm. Controlled. Giving orders. Tactical commands. Calling her position like a target. She exhaled. Tossed the headset. Let it burn in the sand. Then she climbed. Straight up the dune. No cover. No hesitation. She reached the crest. Storm behind her. Camp lights ahead. No guards. Too confident. She watched. Counted heartbeats. Behind her, Gwen's shadow emerged. Silent nod. Scope locked. Kara pointed. The real hunt started now. They brought machines. She brought ghosts. They waited until the wind died. 3 minutes. Enough. Gwen stayed on the ridge. Scope steady. Kara moved down alone. The perimeter was thin. Too easy. Intentionally easy. She passed 2 bodies. Unarmed. Clean shots to the head. Execution style. Inside the prefab shelter. Old screens. Dust. One metal chair bolted to the floor. A child's shoe beneath it. Her pulse slowed. She stepped inside. Door closed behind her. It wasn't a trap. It was a reminder. On the far wall. Spray-painted numbers. Arabic. A classroom code. One she hadn't seen in years. Syria. Aleppo. The schoolhouse. The raid. She'd been ordered to wait. To stand perimeter. To not go in. She went in anyway. Found 9 children. Too late for 8. One still breathing. Barely. He'd looked up at her. Half his face gone. Eyes burning. Burning with hate. She carried him out. He never spoke. Never cried. 2 months later, he disappeared from the hospital. No records. No trace. Now, on the wall beside the chair, a photo. Grainy. Cropped. But she knew. The same boy. Now a man. Wearing a royal crest. Zayed's crest. She turned. Kofi was at the door, breathing hard. His shirt soaked. He held out a drive. Recovered from the drone uplink. She plugged it in. A file opened. Surveillance footage. Zayed. In the base. Talking to contractors. Talking to her old commanders. His words clear. Sharp. Measured. This is the woman who burned the school. This is who you trust. She blinked once. Not confusion. Recognition. It had never been a rescue. It was a reckoning. She stepped outside. Looked at the moon. Low. Blood-colored. Gwyn joined her. No words. Just her rifle lowered. Kofi adjusted his glasses. Said nothing. Victor's voice crackled through. EMP ready. Time your move. She looked toward the horizon. Where the real base waited. Not this ghost sight. She strapped her pack. Reloaded. Checked the blade on her hip. One deep breath. Then she walked. No hesitation. No orders. Only resolve. They remembered her mistakes. She remembered their silence. Sector 17 wasn't on any map. But satellites lied. Thermal didn't. Beneath a dried riverbed. Heat signatures bloomed. Cables. Machinery. Movement. Hive, not base. Kara stood on the ledge above it. Checked her harness. Adjusted the holster. Below, Victor circled wide in the cargo plane. Pretending to malfunction. Drawing eyes upward. It worked. Missiles armed. Turrets turned skyward. All blind to the riverbed. She dropped. 30 feet straight down. Silent. Landed between 2 cooling units. No alarm. Not yet. Inside, white corridors. Sterile. Wrong for a war zone. Everything whispered wealth. Precision. Private war, boutique price. She passed rows of pods. Not for soldiers. For testing. Names on the glass. Some she recognized. Some classified. Some children. Kara moved faster. Through labs. Data cores. A conference room with fresh tea still steaming. Then the vault. 2 guards. High tier. American posture. Eastern European boots. She didn't wait. 2 shots. 1 throat, 1 eye. Silenced. Inside. Weapons locker. Unusual gear. 1 drone control rig. 1 voice mod kit. 1 black card. Hers. Used without permission. Without knowledge. Identity theft. Tactical. She'd been ghosted and reprogrammed. She checked the logs. Last access, Zayed. 3 hours prior. No mention of him leaving. Which meant he was still inside. Watching. She planted Kofi's microcharge. Synced it to the uplink. 70 seconds till data dump. One-time shot. She turned. Alarm tripped. Not hers. Gwyn's signal blinked red. Engaged. North entrance. Diversion held. Barely. She ran. Not toward Zayed. Toward the server's spine. They wanted her on script. She rewrote it. EMP in place. Power grid mapped. Surge point exposed. 30 more seconds. She dropped a charge into the main coolant tank. Primed it. Walked out without looking back. Lights flickered. He smiled. Wore a black jacket. Eagle crest sewn on the sleeve. Her eagle. He opened his mouth. She raised her gun. She didn't come to listen. She came to end it. He didn't flinch. Didn't raise his hands. Didn't beg. Just stood there. Calm. Almost amused. Kara moved closer. Gun steady. Eyes locked. Zayed studied her face. As if memorizing a ruin. He spoke. Quiet. Measured. Not pleading. Explaining. Words she didn't want. Didn't need. But she listened. Not to what he said. To how he said it. Flat. Controlled. Like a man giving orders to machines. Not a hostage. Not even a traitor. A designer. He hadn't been taken. He'd volunteered. Built the scenario. Every beat. Every loss. Kofi's signal buzzed in her ear. Data dump complete. Too late. Zayed tilted his head. You think this is revenge? She didn't answer. Didn't blink. He stepped forward. Unarmed. Wearing her unit's badge on his chest. You left me, he said. I lived. I adapted. I became better. On the wall behind him, a screen lit up. Dozens of her missions. Footage. Edited. Twisted. Narrative flipped. Hero turned threat. He'd weaponized her legacy. Turned her ghost into a tool. Now they fear you, he said. That's more useful than truth. She lowered her gun. Half an inch. He smiled again. You're not here to kill me. She fired. One round. Center shoulder. Non-lethal. But enough. He dropped. Face first. Teeth in the floor. She stepped over him. Grabbed the drive from the console. Tore out the uplink. Alarms flared. Real now. Containment breach. Victor's voice on comms. Window closing. 2 minutes. She knelt by Zayed. Looked him in the eye. You wanted a ghost, she whispered. Now live with one. Then she walked. No rush. No fear. Through smoke. Through red lights. Through chaos of his own making. Extraction point lit blue in the distance. Gwyn waiting. Scope ready. Kofi already in the bird. Victor warming engines. They lifted off as fire bloomed beneath them. No cheering. No talk. Just air. And distance. He built a system of shadows. She erased the source. The plane didn't land on any runway. Just a clearing of salt and dust. Old fuel tanks. No signal. No satellites. Kara stepped out first. Wind hit like static. Her boots sank half an inch. Gwyn walked perimeter. Rifle in one hand. Knife in the other. No questions. Kara stood in the center of the clearing. Drive in one hand. Loaded from the last raid. What Zayed left behind. Kofi plugged it into a hardened rig. Encrypted, yes. But Kara had seen this format before. Not from Zayed. From someone else. The voice that played wasn't Zayed's. It was colder. Heavier. Zahir. The markets adapt after the damage. Kofi froze. Gwyn glanced over. Kara didn't move. He'd used her. Not to win. To destabilize. The myth of Kara had become a weapon. Not against warlords. Against economies. Against leverage. Against other princes. Zayed had been part of it. Maybe willingly. Maybe not. But Zahir was the architect. The system behind the signal. Everything Kara tore down. Zahir priced in. Bought back at a discount. Owned. Sold. She walked away from the screen. Didn't say a word. Kofi pulled the drive. Crushed it underfoot. They packed quickly. Left no trace. Within the hour, they crossed into another zone. Borderless. Lawless. Burning. She'd passed through here before. Years ago. When it was still green. Now ash. She moved through it like wind. By nightfall, she reached the edge of a private estate. Steel walls. Imported jungle inside. Excess dressed as diplomacy. Zahir lived here. Publicly neutral. Privately untouchable. No guards visible. Which meant double the ones she didn't see. She breached through the back wall. No alarms. She moved too fast. Too quiet. Inside, marble. Art older than nations. Hallways dead with hush. He waited in a circular room. White. Spotless. He didn't stand. Didn't flinch. He looked older than his file. But not weaker. You found it, he said. Simple. Kara said nothing. He nodded. Good. Then you understand. She moved closer. Step by step. Measured. He didn't reach for a weapon. Didn't bluff. You destroyed 10 of my operations, he said. No one else could have. Not even my brother. A flicker in his eye. Real admiration. Kara stopped 5 feet from him. You can kill me, he said. But it won't stop what's built. She pulled a drive from her chest pocket. Same model. Black. She tossed it onto the floor. His face twitched. Recognition. You found the core node, he whispered. She didn't nod. He leaned back. You don't have to do this. She turned and walked away. No threats. No warnings. He didn't follow. Didn't move. Later, smoke rose from the horizon. Server farms across 4 countries failed. Power grids collapsed. Crypto wallets drained. The myth broke its leash. Turned on the master. Zahir vanished. No remains. No message. No one claimed the takedown. But somewhere, a single icon was broadcast to 20 dark networks. A black eagle. Wings down. No signature. Just signal. They built an economy on her shadow. She cashed it out in fire. No moon. No wind. Just dark. Watch the compound breathe. One entrance. 3 guards. Standard gear. Movements too clean. Professionals. But not prepared. Not for her. The location didn't matter. It was just coordinates. Just another bad place run by worse men. Tonight was about removal. No speech. No warning. Her boots whispered over gravel. Gwen flanked left. Barely visible. A silhouette with a pulse. At exactly 0200, the first light cut on. A motion trap. Low grade. She didn't pause. Just moved. 2 shots. Silent. Clean. The outer guards dropped. The third turned. Too slow. Gwen dropped him with a throat strike. No sound. Kara breached the door. Steel lock. Reinforced. 2 seconds of torch. 1 second of boot. Inside. Databanks. Blood trails. And 1 chair. Occupied. Kofi. Alive. Bound. Barely. His left eye swollen shut. Ribs wrong. Still breathing. She cut him loose. He didn't speak. Didn't need to. He handed her a drive. Wiped twice. Still warm. Encrypted core still active. He nodded. That was enough. Gwen secured the perimeter. Kara accessed the drive. It opened fast. 1 file. 1 name. Zayed. Video loaded. Pre-recorded. His voice flat. His eyes dull. Resigned. If you're seeing this, it worked. You made it. So I built one that could reach you. Push you. Break you if needed. Because the world you fight? It doesn't fear truth. It fears correction. He looked away. I'm part of it now. But it's bigger than me. And Kara blinked once. Not for emotion. For calculation. She pocketed the drive. Looked at Kofi. He nodded. Still loyal. Still in. Time to leave. They moved fast. No alarms. No cameras. But the night had changed. A sound followed them. Mechanical. Familiar. Drones. Too late. Too many. EMP charges were down to 1. She tossed it into the air. 5-second delay. Flash. Scream of circuitry. Long enough. They ran. Boots pounding dust. No time for strategy. Just movement. Extraction was uphill. A plateau. Too exposed. She climbed. Kofi on her shoulder. Gwen behind. Covering. Rounds cracked around them. Not accurate. Not human. AI-assisted fire. Kara reached the crest. Saw the evac light. Faint blue. Victor. Alive. Barely. The cargo door opened. No questions. No delay. She threw Kofi in first. Then Gwen. Then turned. 1 last drone rising. Too close. She fired 1 round. Hit the rotor. It spiraled, clipped the ridge. Exploded. She dove inside. Door sealed. Engine screamed. Air lifted. Altitude climbed. No celebration. Only silence. Only breath. Kofi coughed once. Still alive, he muttered. She didn't reply. Just looked out the window. Dark again. No moon. But she didn't need it. They sent drones. She moved like memory. She didn't run. Didn't hide. Didn't attack. She returned. Alone. Unarmed. Uninvited. The island wasn't on any map. Still fortified. Still quiet. Still watching. The guards didn't stop her. They remembered. The main hall was empty. Just 1 man waiting. Zayed. Alive. Dressed like memory. No gun. No guards. No mask. He gestured to the table. Blueprints. Schematics. Charters. None marked with emblems. No nations. No logos. Just targets. Broken systems. Bleeding regions. Flood zones ignored by governments. Villages gutted by sanctioned raids. Supply chains held hostage by patents. She scanned the data. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. He slid her a token. Black metal. Etched with the eagle. Her mark. Distorted. Reclaimed. You broke their machine, he said. This is what's left. We can make it better. She didn't nod. Didn't question motive. She saw the shape of it. Not power. Not peacekeeping. Correction. An invisible spine beneath failed states. A scalpel to empire. Volunteers only. No flag. No oath. Just 1 rule. Don't wait for permission. The plan wasn't clean. It wasn't hopeful. But it was real. He didn't sell it. He just offered. She picked up the coin. Studied the weight. It wasn't heavy. It meant heavy. Behind her, Gwen entered. Said nothing. Watched everything. Kofi came through comms. Encrypted. Calm. 2 flare points. Somalia. Balkans. Civilian load high. Zayed turned away. Not rejected. Released. She walked out without a word. The token still in her palm. Outside, the sky was clean. No drones. No satellites. Just silence. Gwen followed. No orders. Just alignment. A boat waited at the edge. No flag. No name. She boarded. Saturday. Closed her eyes. Behind her, systems shifted. New names appeared on quiet lists. New accounts drained. New factions fractured. The network didn't announce itself. It moved. The coin never left her hand. But she never showed it. No one needed to know she accepted. They'd feel it soon enough. She didn't take the offer. She became the consequence. She didn't stay on the island. Didn't explain. Didn't decline. She just left. Left the coin. Left the plans. Left the offer burning. No jet. No escort. Just a freight ship across the dark sea. When it docked, she was already gone. No passport. No print. Just a rumor. A ghost in war zones. A shadow in burned villages. Unverified footage. Blurry frames. And yet, patterns began to shift. Arms shipments vanished mid-transit. Satellite uplinks failed at critical hours. Safe houses exposed. Networks folded. No signature. No voice. Just impact. 1 month. A trafficking ring in East Africa collapsed. No bodies recovered. Only a boot print. Red sole, half scuffed. 2 months. An oil tycoon's estate in Venezuela exploded. Internal servers leaked before the flames. Whistleblowers released. Money trails exposed. 3 months. Drone footage captured a woman sprinting across a rooftop in Syria. She disappeared before the second frame. The file corrupted itself 5 seconds later. Deliberately. By 6 months, the world had adapted. Or tried. Nations tightened digital defenses. Private firms doubled bounty rewards. None of it worked. Because she didn't attack systems. She attacked assumptions. Moved through failure zones like a cure. Stripped power from faces. Not structures. And then, she vanished. No noise. No hit. Just gone. People assumed she was dead. Or broken. Or finally tired. They were wrong. She reappeared in a crater near the Black Sea. 1 child in her arms. 10 more behind her. Left them at the gate of a relief camp. Didn't say a word. Surveillance caught her walking into fog. Disappearing between frames. Same boots. Same cap. Same pace. Later, someone found a wall deep underground. Painted red. 1 line written by hand. You don't need permission to do what's right. Then silence again. But her myth grew. Operators started marking missions with an eagle. No name. Just symbol. The shape meant nothing. But to some, it meant someone still watched. And to the powerful, it meant someone still moved. She wasn't gone. She just learned to vanish better. They looked for a hero. She became a pattern. There was no press release. No hero's return. No medals pinned under artificial lights. Just files sealed. Footage wiped. Bodies buried. They said she vanished. They were wrong. She became what they couldn't trace. What they couldn't name. A variable without input. A ghost with intention. Governments try to map her. Contractors try to copy her. Enemies tried to erase her. None succeeded. Because she didn't exist in systems. She existed between them. Every war she touched ended quieter. Every lie exposed dissolved faster. Every silence turned to motion. No manifesto. No mission statement. Just movement. Deliberate. Precise. When power grew arrogant, she leaned in. When truth got buried, she dug. When kids went missing, she found them. Not because it was noble. Not because it was right. Because no one else would. She wasn't saving the world. She was interrupting it. Like a power cut in a fortress. A pulse across a satellite feed. A boot print in sand where no one should be. Some called her a weapon. Some called her a myth. Both were wrong. She wasn't built. She was burned into being. Not forged in cause. Forged in consequence. Every scar a reminder. Every mission unfinished. Every time someone said you can't. She did. Not to prove them wrong. To prove she still could. That matters. In a world built on hesitation. Action is radical. And she was the edge of that blade. No flag. No God. No cause. Just choice. Just wait. Just one more step forward. If this moved something inside you, don't post. Don't preach. Act. Be useful in silence. Be fierce without needing credit. Be the one who moves when others freeze. Not because you're a hero, because someone has to. And if you forget why, remember her. The woman they couldn't own. The shadow they couldn't silence. The consequence they never saw coming. She didn't ask to be followed. She dared you to move.